A lot of people who are learning English will say, English speakers speak way too quickly. I can read English and understand it, but when I listen to an English speaker speaking at normal speed, sometimes I can't understand what they're saying. And yes, we're definitely guilty of that. Although, I bet you're guilty of doing that in your own language as well. In this English lesson, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 5 different English questions. I'll show you how we would write those English questions, how we would say them slowly and properly, and then I'll teach you how we actually say them when we have an English conversation with another English speaker. All of the questions and responses that I'm going to teach you today are from a pretend conversation between 2 people, and one of those people is going on a trip. So here's the first question you might hear in a conversation like that. One person might say, "Where are you going?" Where are you going? They want to know, what's the destination for this trip? So that's the way we would write it. That's the way we would say it if we said it very slowly and carefully. We would say, "Where are you going?" But there's actually 2 faster versions. We would say, "Where are you going?" Where the word "are" gets shortened. We almost drop the A off and combine it with the question word "where," and we drop the G off going. Where are you going? But there's an even faster version as well. We might get rid of the word "are" completely and just say, "Where are you going?" Notice as well the word "you" becomes "ya" when we say it really quickly. So, slow version, "Where are you going?" Fast version, normal version in an English conversation, "Where are you going?" And then how would we answer this? Well, we would say, "I am going to England," if that was the destination. But what's the fast way? We would say, "I'm going to England." Notice how the word going, well, first of all, "I am" became "I'm." Going became "goin." We dropped the G. And to England becomes "to England." I'm going to England. So we kind of crunch that sentence way down. So that's your first question and response. Let's move on to the next one. The next question you might hear in this conversation would be the question, how are you going to get there? Maybe you're in Europe and you can take a car or a train or a plane. Someone might ask, how are you going to get there? So that's the slow, careful version of the question. How would we say it faster? We would actually say this, how are you going to get there? So instead of saying, how are you going to, we say, how you gonna? Notice "you" turned into "ya" and "going to" turned into "gonna." How are you going to get there? So the long version, how are you going to get there? The short version, how are you going to get there? By the way, the second sentence up here, this is kind of just Bob spelling. This is Bob English. This isn't any official way to write fast sentences, but it just gives you an idea of how you would say the sentence quicker. So how would you respond to that sentence? You would probably say something like, I am going to take a plane. And if we sped that up, you would say, I'm going to take a plane. Slow version, careful version, I am going to take a plane. Normal, fast version, I'm going to take a plane. Notice we've combined I am into I'm and going to into gonna once again. So the full question, how are you going to get there? And the answer, I'm going to take a plane. The next question you might hear in a conversation about a trip is, what are you going to do there? If you're going on a trip, you probably have plans. There's something you are going to do. So the long, slow version would be, what are you going to do there? But in an actual conversation, you would hear this. What are you going to do there? Notice how what are you going to do there becomes what are you going to do there? It really, really gets sped up. A lot of things get crunched together. So instead of what are you, it gets crunched into like, what are you? What are you? What are you going to do there? Going to becomes gonna again. Definitely that sentence is very, very compressed. But how would you answer? You would say something like this. I am going to visit London. And the fast version, I'm going to visit London. So notice, and by the way, I'm not speaking extra fast. That's literally how fast I would say it. I would say, what are you going to do there? And the answer would be, I'm going to visit London. The next question you might hear in a conversation like this would be, why are you going to England? Someone just might be curious, why are you going on this trip? Why are you going to England? But how would we say that question at normal speaking speed? We would say, why are you going to England? Why are you going to England? Why are you going to England? We really compress that sentence almost down into one word. Why are you going to England? Why are you going to England? And the response would be this. I want to see Big Ben. And the fast version of that answer would be this: I want to see Big Ben. When you say want to and you say it quickly, it becomes wanna. So, why are you going to England? Why are you going to England? I want to see Big Ben. I want to see Big Ben. We've used almost all the question words except for when. So let's do a question with the word when. We could say, when are you leaving? So when someone goes on a trip, it's nice to know when they are leaving. So the slow, careful version, when are you leaving, becomes, when are you leaving? When are you leaving? So again, we compress that whole question down almost into one word. When are you leaving? When are you leaving? And the response could be something like this: I am leaving next week, or I'm leaving next week. Again, we often drop the G's when we have ing, and I am becomes I'm, the contraction. When are you leaving? I am leaving next week. When are you leaving? I'm leaving next week. Well, thank you so much for watching this little English lesson where I tried to speak slowly and then I tried to speak quickly at a normal rate, the speed that an English speaker would use in everyday conversation. I hope you can go now and practice those fast sentences and kind of improve your ability to sound more and more natural when you speak English. Anyways, I'm Bob the Canadian. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button over there and give me a thumbs up if this video helped you learn a little bit more English. And if you have the time, why don't you stick around and watch another English lesson.